young boy.
Right, okay. Our topic right now is the Premier League. We're going to talk about the Premier League's effect with the COVID. We're going to talk about the Premier League right now, the structure and everything, how it's going on. Believe it or not,
Bullshit.
on this chat right
Arsenal
now,
still, bro.
yeah, we have two
Bullshit.
Arsenal fans. We've got two Man United fans, and myself, the Man City fan, who's obviously sitting nicely at the top and loving life right now.
All your money.
Yeah. So,
Go, you Man United. Go, you Man United.
yeah. So what we're basically going to do is we're going to have different views from different team supporters. Basically, myself, I'm not going to say much, so I'll give the floor to, first of all, start with the United fans, who's that second in the table. It's just fair to start with the second people on the table. Then we're going to go to the Arsenal fans, who are 10th in the table.
Rub it in, why don't you?
Right. So I'm going to start with one Tally. What do you think of the Premier League right now? People are saying the only reason why City is sitting at the top and United is actually doing very well right now is because of the pandemic, that other teams are tired and other clubs obviously are financially struggling and things are not well. So that's the reason why Man United and City are actually sitting first and second. What are your thoughts?
I say that is not true, because these two teams are one of the two teams that played all through last year. They were involved in almost all the tournaments, and they did not get a preseason. I think what Man City has achieved without a preseason is nothing short of unbelievable or incredible as well. To still make up these numbers and still have pretty much a fit squad, because if you look at what's going on with Liverpool, a lot of injuries, right? Now, if you go to United, again, they had no preseason, right? Start of the season, there were so many stories coming out. It was unbelievable. You had Wan-Bissaka, who was being hooked by some crazy girl, and then you had Pogba's agent, Mino Raiola, coming out with stuff before the Leipzig game. You had obviously the no preseason, the no training, the lack of fitness, Marcus Rashford with his injuries, and yet United sit second. So I would say, look, I think it's been a challenge, but these teams are still shown that in these challenges, given that the footballers have been in a bubble for 2 years probably now, right? And they haven't really socialized, which is probably playing on their head. Yeah. And they're still bringing these 10 out of 10 performances. It's very commendable. It's unbelievable to see that the Premier League still bringing the same quality. Otherwise, would have been sat here watching bloody Belarus or something. Do you know what I mean? So there we go.
Yeah, you've just touched on a very good topic there. You said Man City and United were one of the teams that played throughout last season, right? Obviously in the cup games, but they also never had any rest, and they were the teams that never had any preseasons. But why you see some of these teams that are claiming that these two teams had the advantage, these teams were actually doing preseasons. They signed on their players. Man United and City signed players too late, and Man United and City never had preseason, so they never had time to gel in their new players. Yet we're sitting first and second. So I in general, I just think majority of the people right now are just salty. That's the word. But you know what? I want to go further with this. I also like to hear an opinion from the other Man United fan, Ovita.
We're bowling big time, cuz. We're bowling big time. Only because you're sitting on first don't mean you're the real. It don't mean you're the real shit. Listen to me, right? You guys got lucky. Simple as you want to say. That's what I'm gonna say. Yeah, they got lucky in a kind of way. Come on, guys. Man
That's
City.
the
Listen,
we're talking about.
no, it's not salty. I'm gonna say it this way. Yes, we're number 2. Yeah, we're second. We're second, and you guys are what? 14? Is it or 16, 17 points up?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, you're doing good. Fair play to you guys. But Man City is not a team we can consider that is always going to be there forever, as the way Man United would have been. You know what I mean? It's just a team of here now because they got that rich guys from Abu Dhabi paying their bills and everything, and then and pay every expensive players. Yeah, it would sound just like I listen. we see about next season. Right now, okay, do us a favor, win the Champions League.
We're
Because
going to have that talk about. We'll see about it next season.
no, okay, no, not next season, but win the Champions League. That's when we know that your money is going worth to something.
Wow.
Okay,
Okay.
that's
That's
good.
how I'm gonna say. That's how I'm gonna say.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
So we're gonna move
Because you
on
guys
to
don't
the.
even have. Ever since you've been buying all these expensive players, I don't think you even have the Europa. The Europa.
But hold on a minute. The
Yeah,
question. I think you want to
the question
repeat the
doesn't go that way.
Ganizan.
No, I'm just saying.
Patrick.
I'm just saying. The Premier League, Man
Mm.
United. As a Man United fan, I accept Man City are gonna get the cup. Okay.
Mhm.
Doesn't need you to accept. It's going to happen.
No,
It's happening. It's inevitable.
I've accepted at this point. They have to fuck up so much for them not to get it anymore. I just think right now the season, the Premier League has gone heebie-jeebies, has gone shite because even the fact of no supporters, I think it's really affecting a lot of teams and a lot of players in general. I don't think it doesn't feel, when I'm watching even the match on the television. I know now on the television because you can get the audience. You know what I mean? On certain
Not the
channels.
same.
Yeah, the
It's
big
not
sound,
the
yeah.
same, man.
Yeah, the crowd sounds, but
It's
it
not the
doesn't
same.
look the same. Even the players don't play without willing of dying. And like there's certain things that are happening to certain teams where if they're playing at a home ground, there's not a hope you'll be kicking Liverpool inside out like that on their home ground when their supporters out there.
Now
Talk
the
about
fans
You know
will
what I
eat
mean?
them up. Yeah, the cop will eat them up.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Hey, just the supporters are just gonna tell them that you're losing 1-0. You guys better get your shit together. You
Start
know?
giving photos and that.
Yeah, but
Yeah,
Ovida,
you know.
You have to also take this into consideration, right? I get all what you're saying, that the supporters, like I totally understand that. Oh, the players don't look the same, but everybody right now is in the same situation. No one has
Yeah.
fans, and also you have to remember this. Man City, the team you're saying, oh, they're just lucky. That team was sitting 15th after a lot of games this season. And myself personally, as a City fan, I thought we were done for. I thought nothing was going to work out for us. So you see, at the end of the day, I know a lot of Premier League teams. I bring it back. Premier Leagues are saying, oh, Premier League fans are saying, oh, this is not a serious season because of COVID. But in general, everybody had their situations. It's just that Man City and United have risen from that and now are doing better. At the Premier League right now, as we speak, I think it's more competitive because if you look at the points between each team, anybody that slips up, whoever is behind you is going to go off the top. So as I said, let's just hear our opinion from our friends from Arsenal who are currently sitting 10th right now. Let's just hear their opinion
You
and
don't
how
have
they
to
see
say
it
10th, bro.
down there.
Hold on a minute, Mr. Patrick, before you pass to Arsenal. Can you please repeat the question that you asked? Because I believe you asked us a question before. So I want to know what Arsenal feel as well, on the same question.
Okay, so basically, as my question was, right now, the Premier League has been affected by COVID, and people are saying the Premier League is no longer the same. That if it was a normal season, things wouldn't go how they're going. That right now, City and United wouldn't be first and second. That things would be different. So, what do you guys think? That is it really the COVID situation that has affected how the table is looking and how the Premier League is looking? Has it reduced the strength, or is it stronger right now? So, what's your opinion on that?
You're going first?
No, you go on.
You know what? To me, I think for City to be in the position that they are now, like position 1, it comes through the experience of the manager. Because the rest of it is just, as you can see, United have Ole. Ole is only new in the industry. We have Arteta. He's only a student coming from City, which is he's got. Like we started off performing well, with Arteta, and it was all the build from like City's kind of play. But then City have changed their play over time, and which is they kind of were flexible with the way that the competition of the pressure was getting. Because as you mentioning before, you guys weren't performing well at the start, but now everything has just switched over to you guys to be the favorites. And I think from this point on, it's about experience of the manager. It's very admirable to see the likes of like West Ham being in that position, because you can see the manager behind the team has actually driven the players to that level as well. Because that comes from the art of saying that, for example, United are on a level of they use their past knowledge already, as well as their present knowledge to build on that level. We are still building on our level, and the smaller teams that are like bottom 10, those are really struggling because, yeah, financially, that is like has hit them really bad. Because as you could see over time, like they had the idea of using the pay per view kind of like thing, so that they could actually pay more for the players, for the industry to actually sustain whatever is going on. But at the moment, like if you talk about a transfer that's going to be summer transfer, it's going to be in the favor of City, because you guys are well financially stable. No other team is going to be able to afford that kind of level of players that are out there in like different leagues. So at the moment, it's just that you guys are the favorites, as well as you're financially stable. That's the only thing that's really working in favor. And with the fact that COVID hit, then it's no views for the stadium where you have the supporters going in. People buy seasonal tickets. They had to be refunded those seasonal tickets and all that stuff. So that supporter atmosphere where you have all the fans in the stadium, the chanting of it really drives players to actually push more and more and more. But this time around, the players are walking onto the pitch and it feels like they're going into training. So some players perform really badly with just nothing out there. It's just people, like it's just the players screaming and the managers screaming at them to say, go forward, go do this, do that, do this, do that. While if you have a morale, if you're running, if you have a morale, the defender will be affected by that noise to say there's so much pressure. So with this part, whereby I'd say COVID has really affected the atmosphere of a stadium and the performance of most teams, like at the moment.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I would actually agree with what Epi is saying, and COVID has actually affected the Premier League financially as well as the attitude of the game. Because if you look at all the interviews of all the managers, what they talk about is like the attitude of the team is not correct. Even like Jose Mourinho lost with the Zagba or something. He was talking about attitude. It depends on the attitude. So without the crowds, you don't have that attitude of wanting to win. If the other team wants it more than you, they'll definitely win.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'll speak on Arsenal's fair point and why we tend is because our consistency of changing managers and trying to inflict ideas into players that they're not good enough. Because most of our players, Arteta, we had to get rid of most of the baggage that was there. We had so many players who are just sitting there eating money. For example, Ozil, he was eating so much money, we had to get rid of him. And Arsenal, we don't have the financials for that to be sponsoring his life without playing games.
Yeah,
And he wasn't bringing anything.
Vouchers.
You know what I mean?
And you had to find the dinosaur, didn't you?
Oh man.
And with the pandemic as well, like you said, as in it involves every team involves traveling to a new country and everything, and they have to do a quarantine or whatever like that before they start the game. They have to. It's a mental thing on the issue as well. Not seeing the families after the game because they have to quarantine, because they have to do it. It's a mental game as well. At the same time, you have to perform well in the issue in the ground. So they have to have people to motivate them on each every game. Guys, we're going to win. So it's a hard job as well. At the same time, with the amount of injuries that every team is getting involved in, is also an impact as well. For example, like City had a lot of injuries as well. When De Bruyne and so many people were not playing, you guys are finding issues so hard to get goals. Now everybody's coming back. Look at how Liverpool is playing. All the injuries and everything just turned around as if they're not champions anymore. Because at the level they're performing right now, they don't seem like they won the champion leagues and the Premier League last year. It just look like they just average. And Arsenal, for us guys, we need those to bring in new players. We need that financial result of it. So that's why I see all the time they're just coming out with new kits and everything, trying to promote, get that money in, new players. And Arteta trying to change the mindset of he's trying to bring in the young kids to have that fresh mentality on the pitch as well. So that's why I see like a lot of small teams are taking advantage of that. It's not like 30 years ago when it's only like Man United, Arsenal, Man City, Liverpool with lots of money they can buy any player. You know what I mean? Now Everton can buy players. All these small teams can buy players. So it's not like, okay, we're gonna win. You're gonna sweat to win. You know what I mean? Everybody has to hard work. So everybody, you can't say like, oh, I won today, I'm number one. After 2 games, you're number 10. So it's a competition. It is bringing competition mentally and physically as well. So that's my thought onto it.
Yeah, so I'm going to.
What he's saying, right? Just to translate it, Arsenal have had a terrible season. You know?
No, what he's trying to say is Arsenal are shit. That's what
I mean,
let's summarize this. Arsenal are shit.
So at the moment, because at the moment when I see Arsenal, we are progressing compared to what Unai Emery is doing. Because every time when we're playing with some team, because you can see on the issue when they're passing, because Arteta was trying to make them know, really, don't be scared to play from the back. Be comfortable. Don't be scared coming to you to do that.
Them boys,
he's trying to impact that, as with Man United as well. Trust me.
No, don't put us in. We can't. Don't put Man United in that bracket. No, that is
Man United. The good thing about Man United compared to Arsenal, you guys have top players.
No, Arsenal have been progressing ever since Wenger.
Yes, they've been progressing, but most.
They've been progressing ever since Wenger.
Let him talk. Let him talk.
Yeah. Man United have top players. Even if you change a manager tomorrow, you still have top quality players to perform.
Rashford came from our academy. You have Saka. Saka came from your academy. What's the difference?
But look at the top players that we have. You say top player. Bellerin is good, but can you say Bellerin is a top player? He's an average player that we need.
He was very good. He was a good player at the point, guys.
He was only good because of the top players that we had at the time.
No, he was a good right back.
At the time,
look at the words you're saying. You're using was
when we had good players. Because Arsenal had this thing when once we have the likes of we had so many top players that we were just busy selling off. Selling off. It was all about selling, getting the money. Once a player is big enough, sell him, get the money. Promote another, sell him, get the money. And the difference with Man United always buys better players. They don't
no. Rashford,
they buy.
It's a badge that's really buying players now.
Rashford.
Who else?
From academy. Rashford. Who else?
And it's just a few people.
Pogba. Yes. Pogba anyway came from our academy.
He was already good.
Yeah, but we spent 80 million. We spent 80 million on
80 million. Because we had him before.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
No.
Okay, another. Greenwood.
Because he was good.
No.
Greenwood.
It's because of the surrounding players. Because you got so many big players in there.
We spent 80
and they're
million.
building the younger players.
Yeah.
And that's what Arteta is trying to get the mindset of what these big teams are doing. Use Aubameyang, David Luiz with their experience. That's why he got William now for his experience to teach the younger players to get as much courage to perform as well. So he's getting Unai Emery never did that. Unai Emery brought Mustafi. This useless things that we're not even supposed to have.
That was dead ass beat.
That was dead. So now he's gotten rid of all these negatives and everything. So he's trying to bring in new, fresh talents to build. As in
Europa for the win, yeah.
I'm just waiting for. I would love it for Europa to be Man United versus Arsenal final. That would be a very stressful
We're
game.
Gonna sit on
I'll be ready.
Yeah, because Arteta's gonna have all his players in the box. That's what he's gonna
Yes, we're gonna have them all. And obviously, Man United want to win a cup as well. All he wants to have is first cup. Because we already has 2, so all he wants to win something. So for us, Arteta as well, he wants to prove a point as well. He wants to prove a point. I can get the job. So
I mean, in terms of what you said with Arteta having trophies, right? That's all well and good. I'll give you an example. Roberto Di Matteo, his name was the Chelsea manager.
He was telling you for a few.
You won Europa. Where's he at?
But look at him. He's an old goat. Look at Arteta. He's a newbie. So it means so much to Arteta.
He's not
old.
to the other guy. And he wasn't actually the manager. He was just a caretaker.
Arteta won two trophies in how many months?
All right.
Come on, Di Matteo was.
That's the difference.
Listen, Di Matteo wasn't even the manager. He was just a caretaker.
Di Matteo won trophies.
Yes.
Got sacked the next season.
But how long did it take him to win those trophies?
Bad life.
You can tell me.
No, get 2 seconds. I'm trying to get to a point here. There's a point that Ollie said, look, trophies build your ego, yes, but they don't show the issues in the club. Trophies hide away the issues you have in a club, right? A team like Man City, when they were 15th, everybody knew they'll be top. Everybody knew they would be somewhere around the top 4 because they're
I didn't know that.
Team. You didn't know.
I didn't know that too, to be honest.
Nope.
I lost hope.
You did not know that.
I knew they were.
I lost hope.
Liverpool going to be on top. So
this point is very important. This point of looking at a team's progress, looking at how the team has progressed and how a team is, or how they're projected to do, right? This measures how good a team is. You know, trophies are great. Yeah, don't get me wrong. Football is being played to win trophies, right? But in the case of longevity, building a squad that's going to win trophies, you can't tell me that the squad Arsenal has now is going to win 4 or 5 FA Cups in a row.
Not at all.
Yeah?
Not even Chibuku Super. They can't even win
There's a
Chibuku
possibility.
Super.
There's a
progress,
possibility.
the same thing as progress that you're talking about. Look at the Taylor. He has come up. He has come up with big managers. For example, Man City manager. He has won against Man United. He has actually, as a new manager, he's won against Chelsea. These top teams, top big 6, as a new manager. So that should be an achievement for him as a person as well.
Right.
And for fans, they shouldn't just look at what's happening now, because obviously it's not his fault. The club was broken, and you can't just fix a club in a year. That's impossible. Arteta ruined it. No, not Arteta. Unai Emery ruined it. And he had so many issues. They have fired so many people. He had to be made manager. They had to change his status in the club itself, just for him to, you know what I mean. That's what they need to do. They had to give him full control of who comes in and who comes out, because they had scouts doing all this. But now he's the one who's actually saying, like, okay, I want that guy, bring him in. So he has all that control, and it's actually working for Arsenal. If you look at our defense this year, we have considered less than any other year we've done the past 5 years.
We're doing okay.
We're the lowest conceded
you sit in
team.
the box.
Yes, we're the lowest.
We're learning to defend.
That's what the problem is. That's what the problem is. We were scoring goals, but we couldn't defend. But now he's building from the back going forward. Now it's the mid. Now he has Partey. Now we just need to decide if we're going to keep Chaka or not, because sometimes it's a bit sketchy. Because with all the red cards we're having this season, that was not nice. But I think the team is starting to develop a mindset on what ideas he's bringing in. And
you're worried about the red cards. Worry about the whole team. The whole team. That team cannot win.
That's a 5-star team, man.
That team cannot win Chibuku Super League.
Those people were crying about Mustafi, what's his name, Socrates, and all his Kolasinac. Kolasinac used to annoy me. He used to run forward and then pass back. I didn't understand that mentality, to run forward instead of crossing and to run back and pass it. Like, why? So with Ole, I'll give him props as well. A lot of people are like, hey, fire him. I watch Man United, whether I like it or not. I like to watch them lose, but they always win, so which is good. And I see him as progress, as in, there's so many critics out there on every team. There's so many critics against Liverpool. I think they're going to be back there. There's so many critics with Man City when they're losing. But I know I've seen a video clip of what's the Man City guy? His name, coach Pep. I saw him when he goes into the issue, starts talking to them like, guys, we have to win every game. So he's very strict with them. He's very strict, like, this is my job. If you want my job, you can have it. But this is me now. I'm telling you, this is what we're going to do. Let's do it. And these players are paid a lot of money every week to give a good performance. If you look at it, there's so much money being spent in one player to perform. And that's why we had to get rid of Ozil. He had to go because we're spending so much money for nothing. That's their money. Give it to Saka, maybe.
Hold on a minute. Did you not offer Ozil this contract that you are saying?
Because he was at his best. He was scoring goals. He was creating.
And he stayed, right?
And he stayed because you can't just get rid of a contract. Contract is a contract. You have to abide by it.
So you're saying towards the end of his career, he was not playing well?
To the end, yes. He wasn't creating as much as we wanted. As much as the club was.
Yeah, but you didn't play him. You didn't play him at all.
Because he wasn't creating. He was still playing the slow game because football is evolving every year as we have watched. It's getting faster and faster every year. Ozil still does the same slow look, run, fall, same thing, slow.
We're more vibrant now than ever.
Yes. Every player has to evolve with what's happening, move faster, pass quicker. That's what Arteta is giving it to the players. So if you're passing slow, like 5 seconds, you run it, you pass, they'll take the ball off you, and then you concede. Because now it's a different ball game. If you look at the Man City and Man United game, it's so interesting because it's always fast game. Once you take the ball, shoot it, cross it forward, run to the issue. That's all about that.
You need to be nodding your head when they're appreciating us.
Because I appreciate. Because for me, when I'm watching a Man City game, the way they pass, bro, they pass in small places, but it's fast and it's so nice to watch. And they're compared to Arsenal, we always pass slow. We always have to look for, and it's annoying because it's a slow game. It's not interesting. So players need to evolve. Clubs need to evolve on what the game is faster now. Let's evolve. That's my thought.
Okay, guys. I'm going to cut you off there, and I'm just going to ask you a question, and it's just yes or no. I'll start with Ovita. If there was no COVID right now, would the table look the same? Yes or no?
Nah.
Okay, that's a no. Fred.
If there was no COVID,
yes.
Yes, I think they would. It would be different.
Basso.
No.
Because to me. No. That's for another time. I wanted to give my reason why, but anyway, it's okay.
No, we can have another. What about Wantali? If there was no COVID right now, would the table look the same?
No, it wouldn't.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, so that's it on the topic of the Premier League. I know we went a bit off topic there, but we're going to make more videos on the Premier League. I'm pretty sure you guys are going to enjoy that content. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and put your notifications, and obviously find us in the next vid.
And make sure
see you guys later. Peace out.
All the United fans, smash a like.
Yeah, exactly. And look, if you've got any point upon this topic, comment it right there and say what you think, what you feel, what you want to comment on, whoever. If it was Patrick, Wantali, Impazzo, or myself or Fred, whatever the comment is said, and you've got something to add to it, make sure you put it down there on the comment. Holla, 5 rounds.
Whatever you say.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry. Think about this as well, so we can raise them up. So we basically there's companies that were doing mining in Tanzania. He was actually shutting those down, like, this land is Tanzanian land. Tanzanians need to own business in Tanzania land. So if you're outside, an outsider coming to start a company there, you need to have a Tanzanian to be part of that business or company.
Learning about the story is that some people are saying the opposition party was talking about him, that he contracted, he had COVID and all, and that was a problem. The report from the hospital is more saying that heart complications.
Any other guy who was trying to push back to the Western side or push back to the outside help or try to unite Africa, there's always something that either happens to that person or media paint that particular individual as bad, evil, not good enough, trying to break Africa, trying to not do anything positive.